So you'll see by the time that you've got a few of these variables set up at the top of your code, you'll have quite a bit to work with in creating your 9 different variants of the wallpaper. So I'll just run through how that might look on a very, I'm not thinking too deeply about every different variant because I'm just kind of trying to show you the process, but I'll do this 9 times to try and make something distinctly different every time. So maybe if I go little circles as false for the first one, got a very stripped back one, and maybe make the primary colour this is the cyan one. Something's wrong in my code, but that's fine. I'll just leave this like this, and then change it to glide wallpaper. See, that's interesting. It's like a golden chain, and I'll save that image as wallpaper 1.png. For the second one, I might want a different background color. I've set that up at the top of the code to be able to be changed just like that. I might make the cell size a little bit different. This just changes these lines here. Make it longer, so 500. Make this really short, 100. Make this 150. 100. I don't think. No, that's fine. Go black color. Add another color. Make the background black for this one. And then right click and save that out as wallpaper 2.png. For the third one, maybe I think I have this. Oh, okay. Could try one in landscape. You can do this in portrait or landscape, but it's just because I'm showing you how to do this on a kind of split screen thing that I set it up in portrait mode. So they're kind of like phone wallpapers, but saving them like this is good too. I do expect other parameters to be changed than just the portrait or landscape for your different variants. So they're kind of different overall designs. Maybe if I change the size here. And I have the straw glyph function, so I could draw another one that's at a different X, Y position, and then have them all to be bigger in size. This one looks kind of weird, but I'll just save that out again. quickly make a deco color. Just make that maroon, see what that does. Yeah, that's for them. I think the old colour is the cyan, yep, I don't want that. That's kind of what I was trying to do before. I'll turn this back to portrait, because I like portrait more. I'm imagining making sort of phone wallpapers here. So wallpaper 4 was a bit of a dud there. I don't like that one as much, but just for the sake of finishing this video quicker, I'll just do this. This one's really weird, don't know what maybe if everything was really small that could look interesting, so I'll make the cell width and height really small. Kind of turns into this nice, kind of looks like a butterfly pattern. Make the primary color. Left primary, secondary. Okay, they're being drawn with gold color. You can kind of see when you're like really messing around with how things tile. I started with something that kind of just sat in the bounds of the cell size and would be kind of drawn in this uniform way, but it almost turns into this thing where you get this sort of emergent quality of this dot pattern or whatever. Like I hadn't thought about that as part of my design at all, but it's also a really interesting sort of artwork within itself. You can see it doesn't fill the entire screen here because I've actually got the cell size to be really small, only 50, whereas they're being drawn at a position of 150, so they're being drawn a little offset too much there. So maybe if I turn that to 20, 40, 20, 30, 40. Maybe just like something really small, like 5, 10. Okay, that's not quite it, but like this is a totally new take on the design that I initially started with that I kind of didn't anticipate, and I think that's sort of one of the cool things about coding. You can do really interesting, complex things really easily once you've kind of set up the systems of variables, and yeah, you can make some rules and then you can push them sort of to their limits and end up with something that you didn't expect in the first place. Like if all of these suddenly got scaled up, I'm sure it would look absolutely crazy. Like yeah, there, it's just got this part of the glyph that's being like repeated over and over and patterned in this really, really cool way. I think I'm going to change the background to maroon. Ooh. And make the maroon darker. Not entirely happy with this. But yeah, I don't know. Am I losing it? I think for the last one I'll just go back to something a bit more understandable. Maybe go glide wallpaper. No, don't like that. And end on kind of something nice and simple there. And as you can see, like and as you can see now, I've kind of got this folder full of just really, really distinctly different variants of this kind of glyph that's been turned into patterned sort of texture in different ways, and different aspects of it are changed in ways which anybody interacting with the code could try for themselves. hopefully just with the variables at the top of the page and kind of the layout settings. It can be cool to have all of your favourite ones, like if I decided that this 9th one was the final hand-in that I wanted to use, to take all of these and say they're all colours, but these are things to change. Go default 300, just copy and paste this, default 200, default maroon colour, default black colour, there's default black colour as well. This one doesn't use gold colour, so maybe I'll just set this to true. Yeah, default gold colour, default true, default true. And have that be the final, like, A3 A3 printout version of it, which is an absolutely huge resolution, but yeah, that's the main image requirement. And I guess default 0.4. And now we can kind of like, maybe you could log it in your documentation, all of the different settings for your 9 different variants. So every time you make a new variant, you could just like save all of this code here, paste it in the Word document, say this is wallpaper 2's parameters, this is wallpaper 3, this is wallpaper 4's, and just have 9 versions of that. But I think it's cool to have your final hand-ins be sort of explained in comments as the kind of default values for everything.